So people are all the time asking me, why an RV? Why would you choose to live in something so old and decrepit? Um, the truth is that it feels like home. Maybe for the first time ever. Um, One of my first memories is of being about 4 or 5 and being awakened in the middle of the night by my parents and waking to find the station wagon all loaded up, and I'm pretty sure they were skipping out on the rent, so we were leaving, and that was just the end of that place. And we moved so much when I was a kid, and I moved so much as an adult. I left home on my own when I was 15, so there were all kinds of shelters and foster homes, and then jobs that took me to different states, and I've never felt as at home as I do in this RV. I've rented attic spaces, I've rented basements, I've rented, tiny rooms in people's houses just to get by. We have lived in my car. We had this Volkswagen, the seat folded down, lived in that for months. And when the Volkswagen died, we lived in the woods in a tent down by the river. And we still visit that park all the time. It's my second home. This is actually not our first RV. The first one was a 1960 North Star. I don't believe that the line still exists, and this thing was not in good shape. It was the genuine canvas and zipper with the fly mesh. That summer was the only summer that I owned it because it was tornado season and the roof got torn off twice. I had to cobble it all back together with 2x4s and God knows what else. And I remember the little old lady and her husband who lived next to me. She was, very sweet, trying to console me, like, honey, you can survive this, you can survive anything. Well, she had no idea. That it sucked, but, it was not the end of the world. So, is investing 3 years into this place a big deal? Not for me. It is home. It feels like home. And I don't have any intention of ever moving out of it by choice. So, yeah, it's worth every penny that I sink into it. And I'm just excited to see where it takes us. Because God knows you can't rent an apartment anymore with a 100-pound dog. So, I hope that answers some of your guys' questions and, shed a little light onto the thinking behind this project. I first saw this RV months before it ever went up for sale. It was parked down the block from a house that I was renting with friends, and I'd walk by it every day with the dog and be like, God, that's beautiful, and I wish he would sell it. I just wish he would sell it. And miracle of miracles, that spring he did list it, and I was there in a hot second. And she's mine. All mine. And I think the dog is not as in love with living in a tiny 25-foot space as I am, but I love it. It's our forever home.